Good morning, Facebook Livers. This is Steve Barrett, Editor-in-Chief of PR Week. We are ready to do our weekly podcast and just feeling a little bit fragile this morning, it has to be said. We had our big night last night, the PRWeek Awards, the Oscars of the PR industry, the gold standard of PR, and what a great night it was. So we're going to talk about that and do a special with our A-team of Bernadette Casey and Frank Washcook. So please leave comments, messages. If you were at the awards, let us know what you thought. Thought it was a great night personally, but we always want to know what you think. And yeah, let's get on with the show. Perry Simpson behind the dials, Mr. Webmeister extraordinaire. Hello and welcome to the PR Week, PR Week's regular weekly roundup of everything that matters in the worlds of PR and communication. Sorry, listeners, not feeling on top form this morning. We had our PR Week Awards last night, and we need some coffee, don't we? Sorry about this. For those on the podcast, that was me slurping some coffee. For those on Facebook Live, you can probably see what I was doing. Yeah, big night last night, PR Week Awards, and the Oscars of the PR world, as you know, the gold standard. Fantastic night, some great winners, and good fun had by all, including our two special guests, the A-Team. Bernadette Casey, Executive Editor of PR Week and the Content Hub. How are you doing, Bernadette?
I'm terrific, Steve. Did you maybe have a little too much fun last
night?
Maybe not the finest form
I may have stayed out a little later than you, but I didn't think I was that bad until I started this podcast.
But it was a great night for sure.
It was. I've got this lingering cough, which has decided to rear its head during this broadcast. And Frank Washcook, how you doing, Frank? We up at 6 o'clock bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
I was up much earlier than that.
Yeah, well, see, he's all about the business, is Frank.
I'm an early riser.
11 p.m. last night, putting the finishing touches to the content after the show, and then back at it at 6 a.m. So a great effort by the team and Frank and the content team. It was a good fun night. So that's what we're going to talk about. It is the PR Week Awards, all the winners. Bernadette, let's start with you, because you had the chance to introduce our Communicator of the Year, Tarana Burke. Tell us a little bit about that. And it was really it really got the room energized, didn't it?
It absolutely did. It was quite an honor to be able to introduce the award that we presented to Tarana Burke, founder of the Me Too movement. She's been doing incredible work with girls, empowering, helping them to, get through some very difficult issues in their lives, of sexual harassment, and she does amazing work. And it's important in our industry, as we've been talking about, to be good corporate citizens, to do good. It's not all about selling product, and that's certainly a side of it, but PR Week has been very proactive, we're all proud to say, in terms of awarding people like Tarana Burke, and in years prior, Peter Frates and Edie Windsor, champions of the LGBT community, and the founder of the Ice Bucket Challenge, who are really changing lives and saving lives through communications.
Absolutely, and Malala Yousafzai as well. I think we were early to that piece. So, yeah, it has been great to see the reaction in the room. Lots of cheers went round. It was a great video to accompany it, including the Oprah moment from the Oscars, and that really, she did reference the Me Too movement and people like Tarana, didn't she, in that very powerful speech?
Mm-hmm. And it really set off the whole tone of the evening. It was just, the energy in the room was fantastic. It was really a feel-good moment for the industry, for sure.
Yeah, and our new presenters, the duo, the dynamic duo, they were great, weren't they? Including a song, a PR song with references to all the brands and some of the brands that were on the shortlist last night.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, the PR Week Awards, we have live entertainment now, and they're enthusiastic and they're fun, and again, it's just another thing that adds to the excitement of the evening. We like to keep it fresh at PR Week. We want to keep the events as interesting and as fun. I mean, it's seeing everybody in the room. It's like a college reunion. I think the hardest thing about the evening is trying to get people to sit in their seats, because everyone's running around hugging and just genuinely happy to see each other.
And that's just the PR Week editorial team, isn't it?
I know. Frank wouldn't sit down for ages. He just kept running around hugging everybody.
Well, Frank, he's a huggy type person, aren't you, Frank?
Not really.
Frank's never hugged me.
So what were the highlights for you, Frank?
It was a good time was had by all. I think just strictly from what happened, it was interesting to see Weber win Agency of the Year for the fourth straight year.
Fourth straight year.
Certainly noteworthy. Two very interesting professional award winners, and Kathy Bloomgarden and Catherine Hernandez-Blades. And it's...
Go girls.
Sorry?
I said, go girls.
Okay. Right. And, I have to say, I wasn't aware of the campaign of the year when it was happening, but that was a pretty interesting
fantastic, wasn't it?
Thing they put together with Uber and with MAD, with Mothers Against Drunk Driving. And
yeah, the campaign of the year was won once again by Ketchum, which seems to do well in that category. It was for Tostitos, Frito-Lay brand.
Right.
And it was a really innovative idea around the Super Bowl with a pack that could measure your alcohol on your breath and then automatically ordered you an Uber.
It was a really cool idea.
Yeah, it was. And the idea then spawns amazing coverage and discussion about the issue. So that it was a really innovative, creative packaging idea and just a creative idea. But then it spawned this whole amazing discussion around a very serious topic. And,
right.
In the video, one of the players, I can't remember which player it was.
It's Delaney Walker, who's a tight end for Tennessee.
And he actually
been on
was
several
playing
fantasy football teams of mine, and a swell all-around guy. But I think he had two family members, who were killed by a drunk driver. And
on the night when he was actually playing in the game.
Right, and he has the personal connection to it.
So. And there was another incident this year, I believe, with one of the players' family members who was involved in a traffic accident. So it's a real serious issue.
Sure.
Elevating what it was just a bag of chips. It was a bag of chips, and now it's sort of the catalyst for this incredible important cause of ending, trying to stop drunk driving, and they actually put a breathalyzer on a bag of chips.
Yeah, they were talking about how just purely in packaging design it was a very innovative idea. So well done to Ketchum and the Frito-Lay folks there. I enjoyed seeing some, not so well-known agencies do well. there are some naysayers, aren't there, who say, it's always the same agencies that win. You have to be a sponsor or a big agency. The smaller players never get a look in, which is absolute nonsense, by the way. And some really innovative work and some really great work by smaller agencies and companies was rewarded. I thought C&C was an agency that did really well. It won the Small Agency of the Year, but it also did really well in the categories, some creative work. There was the Adam Ritchie brand direction, the brewing campaign, which was a really innovative campaign that did well. The Lights Out did well in Best in Creative Excellence and Best in Arts and Entertainment, Sports and Media. And a couple of public affairs firms, Frank, that did well.
FP1 for their work with the Sikh Americans, which I think was a really well-received campaign around the room. I think a lot of folks were interested in what they did there. Yeah,
and there was one other that you mentioned to me this morning, another public affairs firm, which I can't pronounce properly, Gerritsen.
Oh yeah, they were. You could call them a breakthrough for this year's awards. But it's good to see new faces.
Highwire.
Highwire.
Yeah.
And Manifest New York. Bernadette, Hot Octopus. That was an interesting campaign. Best consumer launch.
That was.
Is that all you've got to say about that one?
Well, is this a PG-rated podcast?
Well, it's early in the morning. Bring your O game. It was.
It's it takes humor. It's can be a difficult subject to talk to people about, but with some humor, some appropriate humor, you make it more relatable. You make it something that people can discuss.
Another firm, Current Marketing, part of IPG, was nominated I think 8 times and won one and had several honourable mentions, so they did well. One of the more noteworthy campaigns I thought was the GSK Excedrin campaign, Frank,
Quite
around,
good.
which Weber did for them,
Yes.
around the debate headache.
I know a lot of people who had a lot of headaches through 2016, and they reached out, got a good target audience, a big
Yeah.
target audience that year.
No, it was. I think it was a really. If you have a look at PRWeek.com, all the winners are up there, all the case studies are up there. Just some fantastic work, and it really says a lot for the industry and where we're going. And we're elevating it way beyond just media relations. It's big ideas. It's originating the idea and just doing great work. And it was a really, really great range of work on display. So, who do you think was the sharpest dressed PR Week person? Frank?
I don't think there's much of a contest here. It was absolutely Perry Simpson.
Perry Simpson behind the dials.
Oh.
Perry,
Can't get myself.
you were telling us how you didn't have anything to wear and all the rest of it, and then you
You were just downplaying.
bounded up
weren't
on
you?
stage, the sharpest dressed man in the building. What's going on?
A bit of a hustle right now. I was more concerned about standing out and looking weird. So when I said I didn't have anything to wear, I was worried that I would look weird.
No, you didn't look weird, mate. You looked sharp, very
you.
sharp.
Thank you.
And you made us all, the rest of us, look a little hipper than we actually are.
Yeah, just by being there. Word.
So, what are your final thoughts, Bernadette, on a great night and another year of the awards? We know these are the gold standard. What does it say about the industry and where we are? Does it bode well? Does that set of work really sort of point the way to the future?
Everyone at the events also says, how's it going, meaning, how's the business going? And quite honestly, I think things are a little more upbeat than they were 1 year ago. I think that, to your point, the event and the industry is really more open than it's ever been before to some of the smaller players in terms of staff, and there's no reason that they can't have the same amazing kind of campaigns and the same successful work that comes out of the big players. We also had an amazing after party too. Don't forget about that. A lot of people hung on even after the awards.
They did.
To have some more drinks.
Boozy ice cream.
To have some boozy ice cream. And we had a lot of dancers on the floor last night, more so than I've seen in years past.
Did we really?
I don't know, Frank. I did not see you.
No,
on the
I
dance
was
floor.
because I was working, but that's okay because I have let's say a very distinct lack of rhythm. So it's probably for the best that I wasn't out.
You and Gary McLaughlin, our
Yes.
sort of content hub web expert, were annoying the staff at
We
the
were.
Cipriani Wall Street. basically, weren't
We were working very loudly.
you? Yes.
Yeah.
Having japes. Yeah, to your point, actually, Bernadette, even the outstanding in-house team at Cloudflare, it's a two-person team, So this sort of fallacy that you have to be, a 350-plus strong team or that you have to be a $600 million agency to win at the PR Week Awards is just absolute nonsense. Of course, the big agencies win some prizes, but there are prizes there for everyone. So, and they, there are only 39 awards, so it's not like everyone gets a prize like some awards shows. These ones really matter. So, yeah, great night, great team effort. Thanks, everyone. As always, it was a really ran like clockwork. And, apologies for the slightly low energy this morning, but you'll forgive us for that, having just recovered from our big night. But we'll be back as normal next week with a special guest. But until now, go and check out all the winners on PRWeek.com. Lots of content there. It's all up, and there'll be more to follow. Look out for our next big date, which is on May the 3rd, the Brand Film Festival. And what else is coming up, Bernadette? There are some interesting things. The Hall of Fame is
Hall of
coming up.
Fame, June 6th.
Yeah, that's going to be a great event. And what other content highlights do you want to sort of flag up?
For the FEM, we will be announcing the winners of the FEM Award online at PRWeek.com on April 2nd. For our event on June 6th, we will have some panel discussions about the importance of sponsorship and mentorship. Have a panel discussing, how things have and have not changed in terms of pay parity and career advancement for women, and what are sort of the critical elements that have to be in place for that to continue. And we'll also have some workshops, for women to help them negotiate better for their salary, find their own voice, do their own networking internally. So it's going to be a great half-day event. It's one of my favorite things we do in the year. So please check out all the information online about that.
And we're also going to be releasing the results soon of our PR Week survey on sexual harassment as well, aren't we? Which, did throw up some very interesting data points.
We are. That will be in the April issue of PR Week, and we will also have that survey results online.
Yeah. And don't forget our Global Awards as well. They're in London on May the 15th. Great event, really celebrates the truly global work that's going on, and that's gearing up to be a terrific event too. And if you haven't already heard, we're taking our conference to Chicago on October the 18th. So we're going to be at the Merchandise Mart there, so taking the show on the road. So yeah, any final thoughts, Frank?
Great night. I had a lot of fun. It was, I think, the best and most smoothly run PRWeek Awards in a long time, and the venue is great.
Yeah, it is great. Yeah.
We haven't talked about the venue. It's a really, if you like architecture and old buildings, it's a really neat place to see.
It is neat. It's it's a step up. So yeah. All right. Well, thanks everyone. That's all we got time for. We'll see you next time on the PR Week.